listening to The Big Question by Jessica Kingsley. That's me. And I'm going to be presenting my journey of self-discovery to find out if, by altering my nose, will I actually alter or change my life. But I'm also going to be looking at the broader picture. I want us to delve into society's obsession with beauty standards. Society's obsession on the street, on our TVs, on our screens, and the pressure we put on ourselves. In a world, especially a Western world, why do we boast about how diversified we are when it comes to looks? When actually, we're no more further than we ever were, and there's even greater pressure than ever to conform to trends and perfect beauty standards. I believe that my big nose is holding me back from my big dream of becoming a TV and screen actress. I want to find out if talking to other people about their looks and about the industry will actually help me to decide whether or not I should have a nose job. Hello and welcome back to The Big Question by Jessica Kingsley. Today I'm going to interview a casting agent, Neal Wright. I'm really excited to speak to him today. He is someone I've known for many, many years, and at one point he did represent me. And he has been in the industry, I think, for like 20 odd years. So he definitely has seen a lot of changes. So yeah, I've got some questions to ask him, mainly based on how diverse he thinks the acting industry and the TV, screen, commercial world is. So yeah, let's find out. Oh, before I interview him, I have in mind that I think that representation-wise, things have changed a lot. I'd be very interested to see if he feels for the same reasons. I think there's definitely been some really positive shifts, but I think in terms of me, the big question, I don't feel like my type of look is represented on screen, which could be a good or bad thing, because it could be that maybe one day somebody says, oh, she looks different, we want her on screen. But my feeling is that I am too difficult to sort of pigeonhole, categorize, whether that's as the hero role, the romance role, the comedy role, and therefore people don't know where to put me. And so maybe that makes me harder to cast. My current agent, who's very positive, says it's just a numbers game and at some point we'll knock on the right door. So let's speak to Neal and find out what he feels about the industry. Hello,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm not bad, thanks. How are you?
Good. How cold is it in Ely or Cambridgeshire?
Freezing. There's still a lot of frost about. The sun, it looks beautiful, but no, it's very cold.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cold in old London. We've
Yeah.
got frost here too, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I miss old London.
Oh, we miss you in London.
Oh, I'll be back soon. I'll be back
Yeah.
soon.
Thank you so much for agreeing to be on the big question.
Thanks for inviting me.
And I have lots of little questions, which then lead up to the big question.
Okay.
So you have to wait for the big question at the end.
Okay, go for it. Right.
Okay. So, first of all, just for our listeners, I would love you to tell them about you. So, what your history is, your involvement in the industry of TV, stage, film, commercial world. Tell us about you, Neal.
Oh, okay. Well, it started a long time ago. I'm originally from a place called Gloucester. And I grew up there and learnt my craft at a thing called Everyman Youth Theatre. And then the basically the leader of the group, who became like my mentor, basically said I should go. He said I've got a talent. So I from there moved from Gloucester to London a very long time ago. I'm not
Yeah,
too
I was
sure.
going to say, is there a year, but you don't have to say if you don't want to.
I can tell you, as though it
Yeah.
happens. It was 1993. I came to
Okay.
London,
Yeah.
1993, and I went to a college called Arts
Yeah.
Educational.
Amazing place.
in Chiswick, and I learnt my craft there, and I was a performer for about a good 20 odd years or so, and still continuing. Then I kind of fell into because I was helping out a friend at the time, and kind of fed my way into the world of agency world, and that was from around about 2007. And I was
Hmm.
in it, and I've been an agent since then, really. And I say I still dabble a little bit with performing because I do pantos every year.
Yay.
And I've been very fortunate in that world because I shouldn't be saying this, but I'm very lucky if I don't get to audition after anymore. I just get asked to do them because they know that I'm good, that they think I'm good at my craft, and I assume I am because that's why I get offered these work. So,
That's kind of the dream place, isn't it? To be acknowledged as a great performer, actor, and people come to you and say, Neil, we've
yeah,
got the best part for you. Would you like it?
it's an honor, and and I've never taken advantage of that, and never expected it. But it has happened. It did happen early in my career a little bit. I was offered work
Hmm.
because of the type of work I was doing up until that point. Um, and then obviously because I took a step back from doing it as a fully fledged performer, Pantos with it, she was said, I'm around, and they said, we'd like to offer you this. And I go, great, okay, fantastic. Yeah. And because I think my experience of being on the stage also helped me with my agency work as well.
Yeah.
Because of people that I encountered during my journey as a performer, do you mean were still around, still doing castings. So once they knew and understood that I was now I hung on my shoes a little bit as such,
Yeah.
and they respected my suggestions, for a better phrase,
That's
of like
great.
of clients and stuff like that, and that's always worked to my advantage, if anything else, being a performer like that. So,
Could you explain to the listeners how a casting works? So let's take a commercial casting.
okay.
So could you just break it down for people so they know where it's coming from and whose decision is whose at which points? Because I think that would help people understand how somebody ends up on their screen.
Okay. Well, from the basic, beginnings, it's a case of like once you're with a so-called registered agent, you go through the world of Spotlight, and we see Spotlight breakdowns. I know performers get a version of, but if there's an agent that they are signed to and working with, will basically then have a wider range of like possibilities for that performer. So basically, it's a case of depending on the situation and depending on the casting, but the basic is an agent looks at Spotlight, we suggest that client, then hopefully those suggestions will taken on board, and then obviously and then if we get the phone call back or the email saying we'd like to see this client at this time, this day, and then I'll call it the relay race because it goes back and forth information
Yeah.
from the agent to the customer, just saying what time, what venue. Yes, great, we like them, they've got a recall, then all that kind of malarkey. Then obviously then eventually it's great timing for us to make that phone call saying you've got the job. So that means you'll get this information, that information, you're okay with us passing this information on. Then it's the relay race between the casting team and production team with that client to do the actual commercial.
And what I want to specifically look at is when you get that casting breakdown, obviously you've got people on your books, or like you said, people you've worked with that you know, and
Mhm.
you also have an insight to the world of performing because you are a performer. But when you get that casting breakdown, and this is one of the honest questions,
Okay.
do you feel the person who's posting that breakdown, are they being authentic or are they? So, a few questions. I suppose if the brand is looking for, say, a washing machine ad and they say the hero is a mother role, um, do you think that when they do the casting breakdown, they have an idea already of what they're looking for? Or, and so then what they put is authentic, or they really don't know. And so they just say anyone age between 30 and 50. I don't know. I mean, you must have seen thousands upon thousands of casting breakdowns.
I've seen quite a few of these,
Yeah.
yeah, over the decades.
Yeah.
Um, to be honest, because obviously what you got, I think one bit that people don't really always understand or get is the fact that even though you see a name attached to a casting brief, that casting team have to like do a bid for that material or for that product. So, so hopefully if you get a certain team that you can relate, that you respect, well, we respect to each other anyway. But I mean, like, if you get on well with them, you can make a phone call and say, you said this, but have you thought about this? Do you know what I mean?
Mm,
So you can make that phone call. But sometimes in the commercial world, it is a case of like it's the casting director's team to widen up the horizon. Reason why I
mm,
said I hope people don't realize they may have to make a bid for it, because sometimes the the producers of that product have a certain vision.
yeah.
It's also up to the casting director to change that vision slightly and be like, have you thought of this? Do you know what I
Hmm.
mean? This is a different possibility. So just for argument's sake, if we're talking about diversity, they're thinking predominantly it's a product that they just haven't really thought about, people of diversity, um, or diverse content, to add that to it. You see what I mean? You go like, oh,
Yeah.
look at this. So it gives them different options. And then obviously in the casting room, they might go, do you know what? We never thought of that. That's brilliant.
Mm. That's actually really positive to hear because that was going to be one of my questions about how much sway you feel you may have had to influence the industry somewhat with, offering them up more diverse or
Well,
maybe what you
technically,
feel. Yeah.
that's the role of the agent, really. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that, because we've got technically, if it was like a game, so we've got all the players. Do you know what I mean? So you've got to give the opportunity for. I've always worked as an agent as to give back opportunity,
Hmm.
and it's about giving people the opportunity to get to what they want to do and where they want to go. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes it's a case of like you get certain briefs, and sometimes it's like it's obvious what they're looking for
Mm.
because they've offered that. But sometimes you can make that phone call or suggest them and go like, "But have you thought of this?" Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? As an option. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes
That's
he goes
great.
like, "That's not what I've asked for," and they
Yeah.
go, "Yeah, I know you're not asked for that, but as an option." Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
And there's no harm in you putting it forward to the production team of that product. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or stuff that to go like, "Oh, you know what? We haven't thought about that, so let's just mix up a little bit."
I mean that's amazing. I think that sounds really empowering in your position to be able to do that. I'd
Hmm.
be interested to know if all agents do that. I think maybe you're more confident in. I don't know.
I, I, I'm going to be absolutely honest with you. The answer is I don't know.
Yeah.
I can only assume majority of them do
Mm,
because after you've been in this on this side of the table for quite a while, you get to know a lot of agents, and you get
mm,
to make connections, a lot of connections with other agents. But
yeah.
you don't know how they run, but you kind of get an idea of how they run their agencies because every agency is different.
Yeah.
So I can only speak about how when I work for an agency, how I work and
Mm,
stuff like that. As I say, it's about opportunity and giving that performer the opportunity to and broaden up the horizons for other people. Do you know what I mean? Of getting in the room because it's all about getting into the room and
yeah.
giving the performer the opportunity to show what they can do. I
Yeah.
mean,
I
there's a lot
mean,
of actors out there who are trying to go like, the commercial world, we don't like it because you're actually there for seconds and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it happens that way. Yeah. I mean, plays are very different, screens very different. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's about the agent's job of opening that door to get that actor in the room to see what they show what they can do.
yeah. I mean that's a brilliant way to look at it, and I only hope all agents think that way, because like you said, it's opportunity. We can't shine until someone lets us in. So, um, so you've been in this game for a couple of decades. So
Right?
what would you? Well, you said that. You said a couple of decades. I didn't use that.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah.
What would you say is the biggest shift you've seen? I mean, there might even been a moment where you noticed something on TV, but the biggest shift in terms of representing actors. So, I mean, if we're looking at diversity, you must have seen a shift at some point over, say, the last 15, 20 years.
I think when it comes to the word diversity, right,
Mm,
which is bandied about a lot at the moment and
yeah.
still is, I think that change is still happening as we speak.
Hmm.
And I think it's only really been kicked into real effect in the last, it's been happening for about 6, 7 years, but the last 5 years, it's gone into almost overdrive. Do you know what I mean? I think when you say about the biggest change, have I noticed, and I'm not saying it's because your gender,
Mm.
it's for women.
Oh, right.
The biggest
Interesting.
thing, but it's only because there's a lot more because it's like quite a few of my clients do a lot of West End musicals,
Yeah.
and just for argument's sake, there hasn't been as many shows as possible as there could have been, which are female driven
Right.
or have more female orientated roles for them. But and
Mm.
especially at a certain age as well. Do you know what I mean? It's like that. But things have been changing over the years, and that's what we've and also that's bled into like screen, it's been into commercial
Mm.
and stuff like that. So I think there's more opportunity for women now. Still not
That's
enough.
great. Yeah.
Still not enough. Do you know what I mean? I think we're only just still scratching the surface on all aspects of everything within the industry when it comes to the change and stuff like that. But we're getting there.
Mm. But when you say more roles for women, are for example, women still pigeonholed in terms of the female romantic lead, or
Lead the
the
mother, yeah, stuff
the
like that. Yeah, yeah, or the best friend is like that, or
yeah,
sneaky best friend, or whoever it is. Do you know what I mean they're all kind of pigeonholed? But I mean, it's pigeonholed for everybody,
yeah,
which is I've never been a fan of in all my life. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Because I'm thinking, I'm from a world another time where the word diverse was like, how diverse are you as an actor? Do you know what I mean? So
Mm.
you could be at one moment you could be in a commercial, then you could be in a horror movie. It's because literally you can flip up as an actor to show your strengths. Do you know what I mean as an actor to show how good you are at different elements.
But that's where I see the industry not fulfilling the diverse role, because that's what I agree with you. So I think an actor should be able to, like you say, 1 minute play comedy, the next minute play hero or tragedy, because that's what I was taught in my trade. But I
Mm,
feel like now there's this pursuit for authenticity. So people who are found on the street, or actors who are literally themselves playing
mm.
themselves. And I feel that narrows an actor's ability to shine. And probably, I don't know, is that harder for casting or maybe easier for casting?
I think it's a good question because like, some of the word that has banded a lot in the last 5 years is the word real.
Mm,
They want real people. They want real actors. So they do street castings, as you say, because they want real, authentic people. But an actor's still real. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? It's still a real person
yeah,
that they have the ability and the craft to give you what you're looking for. They can still be real. I
yeah,
mean, the whole point of literally, for me personally, and I've directed a little bit as well over time in certain bits, is that you direct people. Do you know what I mean? So this is what I'm looking for in this
yeah,
scene. So so take that on board as an actor, you take it on board and give them what the director's looking for. You see what
yeah,
I mean? So it's kind of weird to see, but a lot of people, as I say, people on the creative side, when they say they're looking for real people, you kind of
mm,
think, how real do you want? Do you mean it's whether what exactly are you looking for? Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? So it's kind of hard as an agent to pass on good clients to people. It's like, oh, they're not real enough. You go like, what does that mean?
What does that mean? Well, I mean, I've always wondered what that means, because if if they're looking for someone to play a psycho killer, you're not going to go and find a serial killer, a mass murderer, are you?
Hold on. Just as
Oh,
you said that, hold on.
hello.
Oh, new client this week. Yeah, yeah. That's murderer. Perfect for you. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like exactly that because you just can't find exactly what you're looking for. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I
Mm,
mean? You need someone who's basically comes in the room, takes the words off the script, makes it authentic. So you're going, I was actually in that scene with you. I was believing you. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? That's what performance is about.
Well, that's what I thought it was about, but I feel like it's less about that now, that it's more about somebody who looks right, because they are that character. And sometimes I feel then their acting is weaker because they're
Times I think we have now, sorry to interrupt you,
yeah,
it feels at times we've got to a place where we're just ticking boxes.
right. I was about to say the same phrase. And I hate using that, ticking boxes, but I do see that um in whether it's to do with race, ethnicity, gender, sexuality, I feel like there's a lot of ticking boxes, and sometimes I think another actor could have done that better, and they're not what they are meant to be on paper. Does that make sense?
Mm,
I don't know, like somebody. So if I were asked to play a lesbian,
hmm
I'm heterosexual, but I would like to think that I have an equal amount chance to go into that room and pretend, because isn't that what acting is, to pretend? Maybe that's not right to say.
well, it is pretending, but also it's also a small modicum of authenticity,
Yeah.
and also, but also at the same time, we now live in a world where you know we've always had a voice, but I think now the volume's turned up a little bit more on those voices. And the reason why I say that is because I mean I can't see why you can't go into a room, regardless of your sexuality, right, and
Mm.
play that role because that's what's been asked of you, right?
Yeah.
But as I say, now we are living in a world where, fortunately and unfortunately at times, because it is a double-edged
Yeah.
sword, in respect of like that you will be literally, if you got that role, I'm sure someone somewhere will find out, because your footprint is all over the place. They
Yeah.
say like, she's married, or oh, she's straight, but can they not find a gay person to play that
Yeah.
role?
Yeah.
And it's like the answer is yes, but probably you weren't there in the casting forum, do you know what I mean, in that room, and realized that a gay person didn't go in, but they didn't do as well as
Mm.
he did in the audition. So the better person got the job.
Which is what
That's what
I
I would
would
think.
like to see, but I feel like it's sort of gone another way. I mean, I remember there was criticism for Tom Hardy playing a Jew in
Mm.
Peaky Blinders. Now, as someone who's Jewish, I didn't have a problem with it because I thought he was a bloody good actor. And I'm sure there were lots of great Jewish actors who could have played that role. But Tom Hardy did fit the bill and he is a name which would have helped the program. I get that. So I personally, as a Jewish person, don't have a problem someone playing a role that's not Jewish. So somebody who's not Jewish playing the role. But I do hear from other religions or other people do have a problem with that. And it's difficult. It's like where do you sort of draw the line? Where is it? Because I don't think it's okay to black up, as I'm sure Neil, you probably don't think it's appropriate for somebody to black
I've
up.
blacked out many a time.
Have you? Have you? Well, have you whited up? There's the question.
Oh, that's a good question. No, I've never have actually. No, and just for the listeners, it's no, it's fine. I do a lot of, as I say, I do a lot of panto. I pay a dame a lot,
Yeah.
so so that's why. That's why back
Yeah.
then.
So yeah, you've
Yeah,
maybe powdered your cheeks, Dame
yeah,
Neil.
yeah. Without the beard, but
Yeah.
even though that's fine nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? When are you representing people? When are you reaching authenticity? When does it become too much the other way? I mean, I'm not saying I know where you draw the line. Or maybe it's just a constant shifting, flowing industry
It
here.
is. I mean, for a better lyric, is organic in
Yeah.
respect of like it will always evolve. It will always change. As I say, everyone now has more of a voice now, so I don't think we'll ever get to a happy medium or somewhere.
Mm.
Somewhere, well, as you say, when it comes to creed, color, religion, someone somewhere was unfortunately will be upset about it rather than look at the piece, the overall piece, which is the main product at the end of the day, is to have a good performance, a good structure of a performance, a good cast, a great
Yeah.
cast, it's like that, and a
Mm.
great product at the end of it, a great film, a great commercial, whatever it is. But someone will go like, but, and that's the issue, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair to say. And I do like the idea that it's evolving. And I love the idea that people do have more of a voice now. And also that people have more of an opportunity to go into the world of stage or maybe, yeah, plucked off the street and appear on screens. I think that is wonderful because I think from people I know who have been in the industry a long time, I think it was a very cliquey world, very elite. And you could only go to the National Shakespeare Company if you'd been to RADA, those certain doors were closed unless you were a certain type of actor, which
Mm.
meant a certain type of person who'd had certain opportunities. Would you say that's shifted? So people now have more opportunity.
Oh, a hell of a lot. Yeah, as I say, over the years, it's changed. As I say, it's constantly evolving and
Mm,
stuff like that. So, and it is, and as I say, that's the world I live in about opportunity. And there's other people out there who have that option to give that opportunity to different actors, which is obviously the casting team and the director, because they know what they're looking for. Do you respect that?
mm.
And it has moved, it has shifted a hell of a lot over the years. And as you say, you don't have to be, trained at RADA, or you could, even in the West End was quite elitist as well at one point.
Mm,
Do you
yeah.
know what I mean? School plays, they have to be either from RADA or or they had to go to a college of Guildford and stuff like that. Or other colleges are available just in case, right? But at the same time, it's like now it's like it's about, as I say, some casting directors will now go, do you know what? Let's give them a try. And then once you look at the once the you look at the program and go, oh, they've trained here, and they go like, wasn't expecting that. You see what I
Mm.
mean? And it's about, as I say, it's just giving people the opportunity to go out there and do what they do best.
I mean, I remember when I first started going for auditions, so over 20 years ago, and I never went to drama school. I went to university, but I did Edinburgh Fringe and all the fringe festivals. And I remember going to some auditions in my 20s, and the first question they asked was, "Oh, I see you haven't been to drama school." And I'd be, "No, I haven't. I've been to university." But I felt like they'd already decided they didn't want to work with me from just that. But
Yeah,
now, when I've had similar opportunities, maybe it's just because of my age and I've sort of proven I've done different things, but I've not ever been asked that question. Oh, you didn't go to drama school. So maybe either it's a shift in people's psyche or it's just because I'm older and there's no point in them asking me. I don't know.
it's a multitude of things, but I think in general, it was, as you say, it was the whole industry was quite elitist at the time. If it was like if you haven't been to college, an accredited college, I should really say, right? Sorry, an accredited drama college,
Mm,
that you've not trained, as
yeah.
far as I'm concerned. But now times have changed now,
Mm,
massively. Do you know what I mean? That it's all opened, and more to the point, there's a lot more colleges now. Do you know what I mean that people have heard of, some people have never heard of. Do you
yeah.
know what I mean? But they've got into the room. Do you know what I mean? Good for them in that respect.
Mm,
But then it was a time of, you've got to remember, we're coming back from the days where you had to do X amount of shows to get an equity card.
yeah.
You couldn't do a show unless you had an equity card. Do you know what I mean? So you had to get your stripes up to a certain point. Do you know what I mean? Before you even thought about even getting to a room to get certain things. And so
And now equity, people don't need an equity card anymore to
you don't
perform.
need, no, you don't need an equity card. To be honest, you don't need one, but it's good to have one
Yeah.
because obviously, and reason why, because they, you know, it's you can tell us what faculty, right? It's like you're only as strong as the members you've got. Do you mean? You just for argument's sake, if there's any issues with contracts, do you mean your agent can only do so much? But that's what the union is there for. Do you mean to help you with things like that? If there's any issues, hopefully, touch wood, there isn't any issues, but they'll help you out to a certain extent. And then, but if you are a member, you've got the full backing of them. Yes, it takes a while. Sometimes it takes quite a few phone calls, quite a few emails, but you don't need an equity card to be on this on any stage now. Whereas
Mm,
before, you technically had to,
yeah.
almost want to be anywhere near the West End. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It kind of felt you needed an equity card to be in front of house.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's what it
Well,
felt like at one point.
it felt like you just needed to flash it wherever you went in your little equity diary.
Yeah, Yeah, commentary. Yeah, yeah. Come with the card. Oh, discount. Yeah,
Very good.
yeah.
Um, Going back to uh, your experience, I feel like you're quite an advocate for representation. I'm going to give you that title,
Okay.
casting advocate. Um, what would you like to see happen over the next 5 years in the casting industry? If you had a magic wand and you could say, I would like to see this change, what would it be?
That is a really good question. I, it's probably a really bizarre way of answering because I don't want to see anything changed.
Mm,
Let's say because we are always evolving. Something always needs to be changed.
mm,
Because if I say I want that change, it's almost like I want that. That's where it ends. That's where it ends. That's where it stops.
true.
Whereas if we have something that keeps evolving, because
Mm,
everything does around us,
mm,
it makes like that. So I don't really have an answer for that. It's
mm.
almost like really, the answer is like I just because I just don't know what's around the corner.
Right.
Um, it's kind of like I'm stepping
No,
out of the
I
question.
think that is a good answer because you've seen the shifts, you've seen the evolves, and you like that. And I guess as long as it reflects society and what people want on screen
Oh,
or
is one thing
stage
I do. Yeah, exactly. As long as there's that. Do you know what I mean? Sorry to interrupt you again.
yeah.
The only thing, if it comes to what I would like not to change or to change, is the expanse of AI at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
It's scaring me within this industry because sometimes I feel like when I read the paper, there's obviously someone on actor saying, "But they've used my face, they've used my voice without asking me anything." It's like that, and I mean, at the end of the day, and they're turning around saying, "Oh, because they're not getting paid for it." And I'm thinking, regardless of the money, I get that, but where's that going to stop? Because
Yeah.
so you can be looking at, okay, it happens. I look on TikTok and I look at it,
Mm.
so that or Instagram, and you go like, oh, get this AI, get this picture, get this movement, you want that to move, and you go like, before we know it, you're not going to hire any actors because it's going to take a small team of people to create a movie. I think there are now as you speak. Do you
Yeah,
mean
there
so?
are. I mean, there was
So
quite I can't remember the name of the AI actress, but somebody put out a whole, I mean, Spotlight presumably did not let her link, but she had a whole website and she was being sold as an actor by a private agent to commercials, casting situations, and people were buying her. And, she's a very pretty actress and acts incredibly well. I don't know, her name's like something like Charlotte Jones, something like really standard, and she's doing very well.
and that's the direction
Very
I don't
scary.
want to happen.
Mm, yeah.
But as you say, it's already started.
Mm,
I think when it comes to AI, we're only scratching the surface of what it can and can't do. Do you know what I mean? And it's only you got to remember with the AI, it's a learning process. Do you know what I mean? It's like that was so it learns within itself, but it only learns from what we give it
mm,
information. So if we, so just for argument's sake, if you give it the opportunity for a better phrase, do you know what I mean, to learn as much as it does right now,
yeah.
who's to know what it can create?
Yeah, that would be scary. Yeah. Okay, so here's the big question.
Okay,
Okay. Do you think my big nose is holding me back from my big break? So I feel underrepresented on screen. Okay. I feel women with larger noses are not on our screens. I feel there are plenty of men on our screens, like Adrian Brody, Owen Wilson, even Tom Cruise, who have larger noses. And they can play any role. They can be a hero, they can be a romantic lead, they can be evil, master, genius, whatever. Uh, I don't feel women with my looks or whatever that look is. It's not in my
representative.
head, it's not like a standardized face. is different. I feel I look different, but not represented on screen. So the question to you is, if I had a nose job and made my nose look smaller and less, more, I don't know, like more normal. I don't know what the word is.
Or normalized as such, yeah.
Normalize my nose. I don't even know
Yeah.
what I mean by that. Like just a smaller,
That
neater
new
nose.
branding normalize my nose.
Basically, do you think I would get more jobs? Or am I deluded?
You're not deluded at all. It's a good question, and it's an honest question, really. And I'll give you my honest answer. The answer is I don't know.
Hmm.
Because there's nothing to say that, you can have your eyes done, like crow's legs and stuff like that, injections, Botox here, Botox there. You get your nose remolded or whatever it is, or realigned and stuff like that. And there's no guarantee that's gonna change the situation of you getting work or not work.
Mm.
But personally, I just think you shouldn't get your nose, you shouldn't change anything about you and be as natural as possible. Looking for real people, you're real. This is who you are every day. Why shouldn't
I,
you go through that process of changing you physically? Do you know what I mean?
but I don't feel I see people like me on TV, other than, say, Sarah Jessica Parker, who has big hair, big nose, big mouth, and she's skinny and small like me. So I don't really see faces like mine on British TV, for example.
Yeah. I just think it's a case of like, don't change, and hopefully, the casting teams out there will change and start looking at things differently. Do you
Mm.
mean diverse doesn't have to be about color? Do you mean it's diverse in many
Yeah.
different causes? So no is the answer. Don't change your nose. You be yourself. And I think, I mean, and the reason why I'm saying that is because obviously, because just for argument's sake, see if you do change your nose
Yeah.
and you do get work, then you'll be the first person to go like, then what's representing dot dot dot. Do you see what I mean?
Exactly. And that's part of what this journey is about. I'm really feeling that the more I talk to people, that if I feed into what I'm seeing and change my nose, then what if there's somebody else out there, a younger version of me, who goes, "Oh, I'm never going to make it as an actress because my nose is too big, or my ears are too big, or my forehead is
Mm,
too big, or whatever it is." So
mm,
it's almost like I don't want to feed into that lie by changing myself. But at the same time, I just feel like whenever I have a self tape and they say, "And now turn to the side, show your hands."
mm.
And I'm like, I don't want to turn to the side. I just go,
Yeah, but you know what? They've got to see you. Do you know what I mean? And like, and doing your profiles is part of the gig. Do you know what I mean? Of a self tape anyway. Do you know what I mean? But they should. It's about again. It's about the real you. Do you know what I mean? And it's like it's that thing is that, as you say, it's about projecting the realness of like the opportunity, so that when people do see you on screen, if there is a small girl that literally you might be Jewish, you might have a big nose, she can go, I can relate to that. Do you know what I mean? And if there's no one on screen doing it, showing it, then how are they going to learn saying like, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to be.
and that's the other thing. And I really mean this. If somebody offered me a part tomorrow, like a nice part, I don't mean just a walk on,
Mm,
offered me a part for me,
yeah.
I would not touch my nose.
I hope not.
But
What do you
until
want
it
seen? Oh no.
but until it happens, I don't believe it.
It's gonna happen.
Hmm.
It has to happen. Because as I say, we're in time of but we talk about representation all the time, and the things are changing all the time. And just as I say, it's evolving. It keeps, it's, well, I feel like I'm just keep repeating myself. But the thing is that
Well,
it has to.
Neil, I think that's a brilliant way to leave it. Just a positive note that it's evolving. We're evolving. Humans are hopefully evolving. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, pleasure. Thanks for having me.
really loved that interview. Neil is just, oh, he's got such great energy and such positive vibes. I adore him. And I just feel like I don't know, I feel he's unusual in that he's a real advocate to represent actors for what they do as a trade, act and pretend. But also, he really can see the positivity of the industry and the changes that have happened. And he's positive about that evolution. I love that. Made me feel a bit more hopeful, a bit more hopeful. And I really enjoyed listening to him and talking to him. But it makes me want to go higher. It makes me want to like talk to the casting directors or to the brands and say, when you're casting for said role, why don't you consider someone who looks like me? Yeah, do you think that's what I could do? Sort of really putting myself out there. That's scary. But yeah, no, I kind of want to test the waters because I really don't feel represented. And I want to ask them, yeah, I don't know. I just want to delve deeper and go higher. And I love the fact people like Neil are trying to open doors for all of their clients and also like maybe further down the line I will ask my agent if she wants to talk. I think she wants to see a bit more of what I'm doing first. But yeah, because I did speak to her the other day about this and she said that for her it's a numbers game and you just keep knocking on doors until somebody opens a door for you. But that's what this is about. It's about getting in there and proving yourself, getting your foot in the door, through the door, standing there, performing and saying, I can play that role despite my nose or my body shape or my creed. Yeah. I think that's where I'm heading. I want to push more, push the boundaries, ask more questions. Yes, the big question. Thank you for listening to me, Jessica Kingsley, on my podcast and channel all about the big question. Tune in as I continue to delve into my personal journey of exploration of whether or not I should have a nose job. And if indeed changing my big nose means I get the big job, or like Neil said, why feed into that? And who knows? No one knows. That's the point. We don't know. But I want to find out more. Thank you. Bye.